Hey there, welcome to Cache Rendezvous. I'm Emily Landine.
And I'm Tamara Bradley. We know that you were missing Cache Rendezvous last week, but hopefully everyone had a great spring break.
Now that we're back, it's time to hit the books. One of those books you probably won't be studying is Little Red Riding Hood. But if you wanted to, Utah State might be the best place on the planet.
Let's go live to our Lauren Brewer to find out why. Lauren?
Books are just a small part of what this library has to offer. And what I found was one of the collections that just was amazing. I'll show you more.
1450.
Deep inside USU Merril Cazier Library Special Collections, you would expect to find collections of books like those seen here, but you'd probably be surprised to learn that there's a Little Red Riding Hood collection.
When I first think of special collections, you think of things that are specific to like an academic purpose. So when I saw Little Red Riding Hood, I thought, oh, that's funny. But then like when I saw how big it was, I thought it was pretty interesting that there were so many different books and formats that were dedicated to that specific title.
A former USU professor, Brenda Branning, collected every book she could find on Little Red Riding Hood.
Through her various studies, this just was one of those little things that popped out. She picked it up as an interest and carried it on as a hobby.
And when she left USU, she donated her collection. But her collection is more than just simple books. It includes a carousel book, a pop-up book, and a calendar. And that's just a small fraction of the collection. But not all of us can spare the time to go down to special collections to browse through it.
You don't have to go to the library to browse through the Red Riding Hood collection. You can log on to the library's website and look through it online.
But a chance to hold these books is priceless, especially if you're a fan of the book.
Item in our collection. It's the first one, one of the first items that Brenda Brannion, the person who donated this collection to us, was able to obtain, and it dates back to 1863.
That's what Special Collections is famous for, is just the unique collections that they have, whether it's, you know, our Jack London collection or Little Red Riding Hood, or Mormon history or anti-Mormon history. I mean, you can get a collection of a wide variety of any sort. And so if you're interested in that specific subject, you can come down here and be sure to find something in that genre.
Even a genre like Little Red Riding Hood. And I found out that all you need to do is come down to the special collections. You don't have to be a student. So back to you, Tamara, in the studio.
Thanks, Lauren. If you want to check out special collections, swing by the library anytime from 8 to 5 p.m.
The men's basketball team put up a good fight, but couldn't hold off UT Arlington in the first round of the WAC tournament in Las Vegas. The first half was all UTA as the Mavericks drained 3 after 3. Forward Kevin Butler led the team with 24 points. The Aggies fought back in the second half behind the hot shooting of Ben Clifford and Jared Shaw, but couldn't hold a lead. They fell by a final score of 83-78. Head coach Stu Morrill said he doesn't think the Aggies will play in any postseason tournaments.
So I don't think we would be given an opportunity, and you know, if on the slight chance that we were invited with all the injuries and everything, and our administration feels pretty strongly about maybe we just ought to shut her down.
This was the last WAC tournament for the Aggies, who will move to the Mountain West Conference next year, but the women continue their postseason this Thursday in the Spectrum. A small plane crashed in Woods Cross yesterday afternoon, and according to police, the man walked away from the crash uninjured. The plane flipped upside down at Sky Park Airport. Police say they don't know what caused the crash, but high winds might have been a factor.
You may not know who Stanford Cazier is, but if you've ever been in the library, you may have used or seen some of the books he donated. He was the USU president in the 80s and early 90s, and recently he passed away at his North Logan home. Victoria Cardin is live to tell us more. Victoria, what can you tell us about him?
Thanks, Tamara. Yes, well, he was such a cute man. I actually had the chance to meet him a couple times, and he was so sweet. I actually sat down with his family, and they're so nice, and they shared a couple of their best memories about him with me. So let's take a look.
He just said, I just donated a lot of books and I got my name on the side of the library.
He was well prepared to fill the role as president of USU. Stan Cazier took over as president in 1979 and retired in 1992.
He just loved books. It's so ironic that he just loved books so much. And I'm pretty sure half those books in the library were donated from him anyway. And he just contributed a lot to Utah State, and not just the library, but a lot of other areas as well. So I think it's very special that that library is there to honor him, so students can take advantage of that in the future.
To Stan Cazier, with esteem and cordial best wishes to a friend and colleague. This is just one of the many thousands of books that Stan donated to the library. And that's why they decided to name the Merril Cazier Library after him.
I was there when it was dedicated, and it was really nice. It's a really great library.
He really lived the academic life in a personal way, not only in the classroom as a teacher and not only as an administrator, but he had that lifetime zest for learning.
At the end of his presidential term, his wife Shirley passed away from Parkinson's.
I was 8 when my grandma died, and so, yeah, no, she was amazing. They were both like a power couple and got everything done. She was like the classy one who would cater everything and, you know, make her own food, and he would be the one who would be talking to everyone, and they had a lot of really great events happen in this house.
I think even though it was sudden for his whole family, I think the whole family understands, and I think everyone will remember what an amazing person he was, and the lives that he has changed will affect so many people because of his example that his life led.
In his academic career, Stan earned many awards and held various positions.
This man was a unique character, one of a kind. They broke the mold when he was made, and I'm sure a lot of people know that, but I'm very proud to carry his name.
So you can see he was just an intelligent and very generous man, and I think it's a good thing for his family to have this library to remember him by. Thanks, Tamara.
Thanks, Victoria. His presidency was over 10 years ago, but we can all remember him and the contribution he made just by going to the library.
Coming up after the break, most people would say that City Creek is the place to shop in Salt Lake, but another mall isn't taking the competition lying down.
And if you're ready to trade in your student car for something flashier, we have an idea, a fast idea.
A full life, measured in seats, starts with the right ones early on. Car crashes are a leading killer of children 1 to 13. Learn how to prevent deaths and injuries by using the right car seat for your child's age and size.
2 outs with a runner on first base. Now the big guy comes up the bat, hitting .342 with 92 RBIs and 36 homers.
Chill raw and prepared foods promptly. 1 in 6 Americans will get sick from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov. Cook foods to the right temperature using a food thermometer. 3,000 Americans will die from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
You can sit with me, imagine what you'd see if every child had a book to read. So the mission is for us to get a book to each and every child. So let's join hands, book people unite, unearth hidden passion. Come on, we'll have a good time. One book could be the first element, helps to change a life. People unite.
Read to a child today and spark a lifetime of ambition.
Welcome back to Cache Rendezvous. A student at New York University has created a product that can stop bleeding immediately. Joe Landolina, a junior at NYU, created VetaGel. Landolina says the gel stops bleeding by jump-starting the clotting and healing process. He also claims that the gel can close wounds to internal organs and even major arteries. Landolina has applied for a patent on the product and is waiting for approval from the Food and Drug Administration. Changes to one of your Salt Lake shopping areas are happening this summer. The Gateway Mall is undergoing a $2 million renovation to improve the atmosphere. The announcement comes at the same time as the one-year anniversary of City Creek Shopping Center. Along with concrete and parking improvements, the 12-year-old Gateway Mall will have some more seating, improved fountains, and more social events like dances. The Gateway will emphasize features City Creek doesn't have in its restaurants, like places to purchase alcohol and Sunday shopping.
As some of us get closer to graduation, it's time to think about leaving that student beater car behind. Our Brian Champagne takes a look at a new set of wheels that could handle Utah sleet while still looking pretty sleek.
This is not an exhaustive review of the 2013 A5 that Audi loaned us. Rather, it covers a couple of cool features and a couple of meh ones. It has a 2-liter turbo that makes 211 horsepower. It has Google Maps for its nav system. When you enter in a business, it'll auto-complete. But this spinning text entry wheel's gonna cause an accident if you do it while driving.
Now turn left.
And the navigation voice is a little bossy. But traffic updates are cool. Backup camera is cool, but going into reverse cuts off the loud stereo, which might prevent an accident. No complaints about the cargo space. It's a coupe, not a wagon. The A5 is not cheap. Ours optioned up to $48,560. But its greatest asset is what it does when the road is a liability. With all-wheel drive and electronic stability, ice doesn't stop it from stopping or going. It rocks snow. We never felt a problem with traction, but you know when the ABS is working. If the rear window goes snowblind, the backup camera fills in. The potential for problems is possible overconfidence. The Audi comes with what it calls all-season tires, but they're pretty wide. We're not saying you would go too fast for conditions because you weren't driving this four-wheel drive or this one. But the Audi's good enough in bad to induce invincibility, just so you're aware.
The RS5 Cabriolet comes out this spring. It'll be faster than the A5 and will have a convertible top.
Coming up in your cash forecast, Aaron will tell us if we can keep wearing our spring break clothes or if we should wait a little longer before putting away our snow boots.
2 outs with a runner on first base. Now the big guy comes up the bat, hitting .342 with 92 RBIs and 36 homers. The first pitch is fouled between
Chill raw and prepared foods promptly. 1 in 6 Americans will get sick from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
Crack yellow.
Getting closer to nature can get you closer to your family. Go to discovertheforest.org.
Can you consent with me? Imagine what you'd see if every child had a book to read. So the mission is for us to get a book to each and every child. So let's join hands, book people unite, unearth hidden passion. Come on, we'll have a good time. One book could be the first element, helps to change a life. People unite.
Read to a child today and spark a lifetime of ambition.
Meet David York, renowned physiologist at Utah State University's Center for Advanced Nutrition. Meet Andrew Bergen, avid mountain biker and a sophomore biology major working with Dr. York. Together, they are studying the plagues of our century, researching ways to reduce obesity, cardiovascular disease, diabetes, hoping to shape the future.
Hey guys, welcome back to Cache Rendezvous. The weather has been great this past week. Perfect for spring break. Temperatures were in the high 60s, maybe some low 70s, depending on where you were in the state. And you know, it's perfect timing with spring officially starting tomorrow. But unfortunately, it's not going to last. As you can look and see at the map right here, we can see there's actually a low pressure that's going to be moving in tomorrow specifically, which will bring some precipitation, some rain, and some cooler temperatures. We'll probably not feel them as much until probably later on this week. If we look at the East Coast right here, right now there's actually quite a bit of precipitation going on there. New England is actually getting pounded with some snow. As we look at the National Doppler radar, we can go ahead and see if we can get that map up here. We can see, there we go, we can see that there's quite a big pocket of snow that's dumping a lot of snow up there in those states. But luckily we don't have to worry about that. What we do have to worry about is this that's coming in off the West Coast. It's up here in Washington. We'll get part of it coming in tomorrow, but we're going to see most of it coming in on Friday and Saturday. Tomorrow we'll actually have rain probably through most of the day, but nothing too bad or as cold as what we've been experiencing. Let's go ahead and take a look at our 5-day forecast. As you can see, today we're getting up to a high of 57. Tomorrow we'll be going down just a little bit to 54, but a low of 40. And then it's going to get colder from there on out. 44 as a high on Thursday, 38 for a low. Friday we'll get down back into the 30s once again. A high of 39, low of 30. The graphic doesn't show it, but we're actually going to have some snow flurries on Friday and Saturday. I don't expect it to be any more than about 1 inch to 2 inches in the valleys. We may experience, if you're at higher elevations, can experience closer to almost about 6 to 12 inches, depending on where you're at in the state. So, I mean, we've got a lot of people wanting spring to finally come. I just don't know if it's going to be here anytime soon. Anyways, that's about it for weather. Tamara, Emily, back to you guys.
Thanks, Aaron. You know, spring break was really nice. I got spoiled with St. George weather. And now coming back to this, I'm a little disappointed.
I know, well, I was just down in Salt Lake and it wasn't even bad down there. I mean, it was still warm in the 50s, which is, you know, like 70s for us in Utah. So
yeah,
we'll see.
We'll see what happens. But coming up in sports, Aggie Gymnastics hosted their final home meet of the season, competing against a top team in the country. We'll tell you just how they did.
All your cares are over. Not so fast there, pupil. You still need to decide on a career.
Don't worry about that, announcer guy. Come on into the Career Center, located in the University Inn, and discuss your goals and concerns with advisors who are here to help you get into the fields that you're interested in. There are many resources, including counseling, a career coach, publications, professional interviews, and much more to help you get that job. The Career Center, 797-777.
G-Morning, sunshine. Wakey, wakey. Text me. Are your parents home later? We can hang. LUV, love you. JK. Holla back. Holla back. Holla back. Are you with your friends? That's lame. We're in a huge fight right now. XO. What'd you dream about? Something I did. Are you on your way to the mall? I'm lonely. Nude pics. Send me some. Text me.
Do you like this top? So gay. Really? Yeah, it's totally gay.
You know, you really shouldn't say that.
Say what?
Well, say that something's gay when you mean it's bad. It's insulting. What if every time something was bad, everybody said, "Oh, that's so girl wearing a skirt as a top"?
Oh, you are.
Those are cute jeans, though. When you say that's so gay, do you realize what you say? Knock it off.
Welcome back, Aggies. I'm Lee Kubik with your Cache Sports. While the students were away, the athletes came to play. The Utah State women's basketball team was also in action last week in Vegas for the WAC tournament. The Aggies went in as the number 2 seed and took on Denver in the quarterfinals. USU's hot shooting propelled them into the semifinals with a 78-65 win. In the semis, USU took on Idaho in what could have been the game of the tournament. USU was down 84-82 with 3.2 seconds left and a chance to tie or win the game, but Christensen never got a shot off as time expired. Despite her heroic performance, Christensen, who finished with 37 points, the Aggies were still eliminated. USU's season is not over, however. The Aggies are playing in the Spectrum on Thursday, hosting South Dakota as part of the WBI. Last Friday, Aggie Gymnastics hosted number 23 in the nation, Boise State. Meredith Kinney brings us the action.
It was senior night in the Spectrum as the Aggies opened up the meet on vault. Sarah Landis hit a 9.875. Her score was matched by fellow Aggie Caitlin Betts. The two tied for second on the event.
I was a little bit nervous. We'd had a week off, and sometimes when you have that week off, you're just never sure.
On bars, Landis stuck a 9.800. Paige Jones followed with the same score. After 2 solid rotations, the Aggies looked to keep momentum heading into the final 2. Boise State held a lead but gave up some points with falls on both beam and floor. The Aggies struggled to capitalize on the mistake with falls on beam. USU had 2 gymnasts hit the mats. Jones hit a season best 9.725 and Stephanie Daly hit a 9.700.
We just don't have the depth to be able to pull some of those kids out and say, hey, you're not hitting, so somebody else is going in. We don't have that option this year.
On floor, Joanna Cuba added a career best 9.775, and Landis finished off the meet with a 9.875. The Aggies honored seniors Amelia Montoya, a 4-year letter winner, and Amanda Watamanuk, who sat out the season with an injury.
I started off a little rough on bars, I think I just had a lot of jitters and a lot of different emotions.
Meredith Kinney, ATV News.
The Aggies head to Cedar City this weekend for the WAC Championships. Have you ever been to a Utah State basketball game and watched a bunch of kids jumping rope during halftime? If you have, you probably think they're pretty amazing, but you may not know a lot about them. Our Jason Borba jumped to one of the practices to get the inside scoop.
Just Jumpin', shown here at a performance at USU, is a competitive jump roping team founded in River Heights in 2003, and they have been competing nationally since 2006. The team has become nationally recognized and has become a crowd favorite wherever they go. Coach Patrice Wynn says Utah State is no exception.
Especially Utah State. I mean, they're phenomenal. And we love it there. We go to Weber State and all the other ones too, and they love us. We usually get a standing ovation, and the students just love us.
Just Jumpin' came to be when Wynn was approached by one of her students who wanted to start the team. From there, the idea took off and became what it is today.
I just moved to River Heights where the team started, and I was trying to make friends, and my mom was like, you gotta go do something, get out there and go do it. And so I was just like, okay, I'll just give it a try. And so they had the jump rope program, and I just had a love for it after I jumped for a couple weeks, and I started bringing my siblings into it.
The team consists of kids of all ages. The youngest member is in 2nd grade, and the oldest members are in college, and each of them have a favorite memory.
What's your favorite memory?
Jumping with people that I know, and it's just fun.
When the team isn't performing locally, they are getting ready for competitions that span across the country. Just Jumpin's highest finish has been bronze on a couple of occasions.
Competitions, there's like 11 events. Most of them are speed events. Then there's about 4 or 5 freestyle events. They're in Idaho for a regional event, and then for the national event, it changes from Long Beach to Texas to Florida.
Just Jumpin' is getting ready for their competition, so I thought I'd jump in and see how it is. Obviously I did all right, but maybe with a little bit of practice, I can be as good as these guys. Just Jumpin' has evolved throughout the years because of new members joining and the experience they gain from going to camps, regionals, and nationals. The team holds a series of workshops throughout Utah where people can go to learn how to jump rope and have fun. Jason Borba, Cache Rendezvous.
If you want to know when the next time Just Jumpin' will be performing, please visit justjump.org. Well, the NCAA tournament starts this week. My bracket's filled out. Michigan's my champ. Where do you guys stand?
I'm Ohio State. My family makes a big deal out of these things, and it's always like a big party. We throw the game up on the big screen. It's kind of a big deal, so I'm excited.
I've actually never done a bracket before. I haven't even done one this year, but I don't know. Maybe seems like the thing to do. I better fill one out.
Yep.
Yeah, sounds good. Thanks, Lee. Well, coming up after the break, you've heard of Mickey Mouse, but how about the anti-Mickey Mouse?
We'll take you to the show here in Utah where counterculture is the culture.
We are an art museum, so there are not too many museums that specialize in collecting art. And we collect contemporary and modern art, which is very different than most art that's shown in the Valley. We're directly next to the new Performance Hall. And we are always free, and so it's a cheap date. And it's a nice quiet place just to, enjoy looking at some different things that maybe you wouldn't see here normally in Cache Valley. You don't have to travel to go to see the West Coast. You can just come here and see the artwork.
The Copy Center on the first floor of the TSC is open Monday through Friday, 7 to 6 for all your document needs. Let the trained staff help you print important documents. Services include binding, color copies, custom gifts from your favorite photos, and last-minute items like pencils, report covers, and especially Scantrons. The Copy Center. We're here to help.
He's bigger outside of Utah than in, and he's ugly, and he drools.
We're talking about Rat Fink. He's the creation of pinstriper Ed Roth, who died in 2001. Rat Fink is the hot rod culture's answer to Mickey Mouse. After Roth passed away, his fans started holding reunions at his house in Manti. People come from miles away to remember the man, his work, and his creation.
It's the 10th annual Rat Fink Reunion.
We're in Manti, Utah.
I drove 11 hours to get here.
From the Farmington, Aztec, New Mexico area.
From Las Vegas, Nevada. I drove out here from Ohio.
And I drive even further.
The people come to Manti to the Rat Fink Reunion because they love Rat Fink and they love Ed Roth.
They're just kind of a rebel, but a safe rebel. The opposite side of Mickey Mouse.
Just kind of evolved with the hot rod with the monster sitting out the top. Put out the trading cars, the models.
This year we're already over 35 artists that are out pinstriping and airbrushing.
There's pull line, and they're designed to be able to pull these long lines all the way down.
He is doing a Rat Fink character on the back of my Mazda here. Usually I bring one of my older cars, like a '69 Cadillac, so I brought my daddy wagon down, my everyday car, and I thought, hey, why not? Let's get some work done on it.
Good place to find really good local artists.
I like to draw him because it's fun.
You're going to see unique things, off-the-wall things.
It's called the Bubble Ray. It started out as a '75 Corvette.
And then you'll still see some classic good street rods, but it's just going to be stuff that you just don't see at some of the other shows.
As far as I'm concerned, this will never go away.
We're all little Finksters, you know.
Rat Fink Reunion is held the first weekend every June. This year, the 3-day event wraps up June 1st.
Thank you for joining us on this edition of Cache Rendezvous.
We'll see you next time.
What do you think about this?